You know a tool perfectly. You can build almost anything with it in 20 minutes. But eventually, you find yourself staring at an error screen for the third time in an hour, realizing you're asking this tool to lift a weight it was never built for. For years, picking a programming language was a simple trade-off. You balanced how fast you could write the code against how fast the computer could run it. In the AI era, the calculation has changed. The choice now hinges on how accurately an AI agent can generate the code versus how much friction you'll hit when you actually try to deliver that finished code to an end user. Asking which language is best is a trap. It ignores the context of what you're actually building and usually just leads to useless internet arguments. Evaluating languages for an AI-assisted workflow requires looking at autonomy and deployment friction, rather than relying on raw performance metrics. Instead of asking what is best, I filter options using 4 practical questions. First, what does the software actually have to touch? Does it interact with Windows, scrape a web page, or parse local files? If the job is literally click a button in a Windows app, you're done. It's AutoHotkey. Second, how are you delivering it? You need to know if the end user expects a single executable file, a raw script, or a web link. Third, and this is often the most important, who maintains this? Are you keeping it running on your own machine forever, or are you handing it off to a client next year? Fourth, does raw CPU execution speed actually matter for this task? Usually it doesn't. I check this last, not first. Answering these 4 questions honestly narrows your options. By defining the physical constraints and the maintenance path up front, you eliminate the mismatch tools before you ever write a line of code. When you use AI to write code, you run into a conflict between a language's abundance of training data and the strictness of its compiler. This chart shows how that divide plays out. On the y-axis, we have training data volume, and on the x-axis, compiler strictness. Python and AutoHotkey sit high on the y-axis. There is a massive volume of open-source scripts available, which makes them easy to use with a standard AI chatbot. But they sit at 0 on the compiler axis. Without a strict compiler, an AI agent has no way to verify its work. If it makes a mistake, the code fails at runtime. That is hard to diagnose, and it causes autonomous coding loops to break. Strict compiled languages like Rust or C# are the opposite. They have less casual code in their training data, but they feature brutal, unforgiving compilers. Those error messages act as a perfect feedback mechanism. The AI writes code. The compiler tells the AI exactly what is wrong, and the agent can identify and fix its own mistakes instantly. The trade-off falls on you. You have to overcome a steep learning curve to read and review the complex, strict syntax the AI produces. You also have to navigate version fracturing. The split between Python 2 and 3, or AutoHotkey v1 and v2, poisons the training data. It often results in mixed, broken output. If your goal is to leverage autonomous AI coding agents, rather than just chatting with a bot, a strict compiler is more valuable than a popular scripting language. Generating the code is only half the battle. Distributing software to an end user introduces friction, starting with the illusion of turning scripts into executable files. Packaging Python or AutoHotkey scripts into a .exe file doesn't compile them. It bundles an interpreter with the script, which often triggers aggressive antivirus false positives on client machines. It also creates a security risk. Because the script is just bundled, clients or competitors can unpack and decompile those files back into raw source code in seconds. Rust or Go avoid this by compiling into true machine code. This hides the source logic and drastically reduces false positive security flags. But if you move to a compiled language like C# for a native GUI application, you hit a size trade-off. Native C# applications result in 60 to 150 megabyte files compared to tiny scripts. Delivering professional software to paying clients often requires moving away from scripting languages to protect your intellectual property and ensure a clean installation. You don't have to abandon your favorite language or limit yourself to one stack per project. Using a wrap, don't rewrite strategy, you keep your core prototype, window handling, and user interface in a fast-to-build scripting language. When you hit a CPU-heavy bottleneck, you take only that single function and rewrite it in a high-speed language like Rust or Go. Your main scripting language acts as the glue. It routes data to this compiled helper as a background DLL or a hidden command line process. The only trade-off here is the slight friction of learning how to format cross-language data calls and maintaining a secondary file.
This approach can provide massive speed increases on specific tasks without forcing you to abandon your most familiar workflow. We can map these scenarios into a decision tree based on your specific profile and end goal. This starts with maintenance. If you are building internal tools and rapid prototyping is your only metric, stick to AutoHotkey or Python. If your goal is to use autonomous AI agents to write complex logic, you need the feedback loop provided by Rust or C#. If a client is paying for the software, the developer's path moves toward compiled languages for security and better delivery. For tools that need a native Windows desktop GUI, C# is the standard path, though you will need to budget for code signing. If you want a GUI with minimal file bloat, Tori provides a lightweight web-based front-end powered by Rust. And for purely headless, CPU-intensive background tasks, use Rust or Go standalone executables. If you're still on the fence, do not initiate a massive rewrite of a working codebase just to use a new language. Try a low-risk experiment. Use AI to write just one single compiled helper function to speed up your current script. Knowing when to step outside your favorite language makes you more effective than trying to force one tool to solve every problem.